Have you ever stopped for a moment and wondered what your cat actually understands when you speak to them? Not what you hope they understand, not what you imagine they understand, but what they truly hear, process, and remember. Most people assume that cats don't really understand human language at all. They think cats just react to sounds, the rustle of a treat bag, the click of a can opening, the familiar footsteps heading toward the kitchen. And everything else? Just background noise. But over the last decade, scientific research has begun to reveal something far more fascinating. Cats are not ignoring you. They are listening. They are learning. And more importantly, they are making decisions. There are certain words, specific, repeated, emotionally charged words, that your cat doesn't just hear, but actually understands in a meaningful way. But here's the part most owners don't realize. Understanding doesn't guarantee obedience. And if you use these words the wrong way, you might slowly be teaching your cat something you never intended, something that changes how they see you, something that can quietly weaken the trust between you without you even noticing. In this video, we're going to explore 5 words your cat truly understands based on real behavioral science and observation. And the last one is not just about language. It's about your entire relationship with your cat. Let's begin with the word your cat learns before anything else: their name. At some point, you've probably called your cat and seen them react. Maybe their ears turned slightly. Maybe their eyes shifted toward you. Maybe they blinked slowly and then decided to walk away. And in that moment, you probably thought, they didn't understand. But they did. Your cat absolutely knows their own name. This isn't speculation, it's been tested. Researchers studied how cats respond to a series of spoken words. They played recordings of owners saying multiple similar-sounding words, followed by the cat's actual name. What they found was subtle, but undeniable. Cats showed a clear change in attention when they heard their name. Their ears moved, their heads shifted, their focus sharpened. They could distinguish it. They recognized it. So why don't they come when you call? Because cats are not programmed to respond. They are programmed to evaluate. When your cat hears their name, it doesn't trigger automatic action. It triggers a question. What happens if I respond? And that question is answered by memory. If over time their name has been associated with positive experiences, food, warmth, affection, safety, then responding becomes worthwhile. But if their name often leads to something unpleasant, being picked up unwillingly, being taken to the vet, being interrupted, then ignoring you becomes the smarter choice. So when your cat walks away after hearing their name, they are not confused. They are choosing. And that choice tells you something incredibly important. Your cat isn't just hearing your voice. They are learning from your behavior. Now let's talk about a word almost every cat owner uses: no. It feels simple, direct, universal. You say it when your cat jumps on the counter, when they scratch the furniture, when they're about to knock something off the table. And sometimes they stop, which makes it seem like they understood the rule. But here's where things get complicated. Your cat does not understand no the way you do. They don't process it as a moral boundary. They don't think, this is wrong, I shouldn't do this. Instead, they respond to the emotional intensity behind the sound, the sharpness of your voice, the suddenness, the tension. To your cat, no becomes a signal, not of rules, but of discomfort. They learn that when that sound happens, something unpleasant might follow. So they pause, they hesitate, they stop. Not because they respect the rule, but because they want to avoid what comes next. And at first that might seem effective. But over time, if no is used too often, too loudly, or too emotional, it starts to reshape something deeper. Your cat begins to associate you with unpredictability, with tension, with stress. They may become more cautious around you. They may hesitate before approaching. They may flinch at sudden movements. And gradually, without any clear moment where things went wrong, the bond shifts. Not because you were trying to harm it, but because your cat was learning something different than what you intended. The most effective cat owners don't rely on no as a primary tool. They use it sparingly, calmly, and they follow it with guidance. Because teaching a cat isn't about stopping behavior. It's about redirecting it.
Now on the complete opposite end of the emotional spectrum, there's a word that almost every cat responds to instantly. You already know it. It's whatever word you use for food, treat, dinner, snack, or even just a specific sound you make without realizing it. You don't need to say it loudly. You don't need to repeat it. Sometimes you can whisper it, and your cat appears out of nowhere. This isn't magic. This is learning at its most powerful. When a sound is consistently followed by a reward, the brain forms a direct association. Sound equals outcome. And once that connection is strong enough, the response becomes automatic. But what makes this even more interesting is that your cat doesn't stop at just one word. They begin to map out an entire sequence of events. They recognize patterns: the rustle of a bag, the opening of a cabinet, the rhythm of your footsteps at a certain time of day, even the way you stand up from your chair. All of these become signals. Your cat builds a predictive system based on repeated experiences. And the word you use for food becomes just one piece of a much larger picture. This tells us something important. Your cat isn't just learning language. They are learning structure. Now let's shift into something even more surprising. If you live with more than one cat, you may have noticed moments that seemed like coincidence. You call one cat's name, and another cat reacts. Maybe they look toward the other cat. Maybe they glance toward the door. Maybe they just pause, as if expecting something. It's easy to dismiss, but it's not random. Cats are capable of recognizing not only their own name, but the names of other individuals around them. And not just as sounds, as identities. They form connections between names and specific cats. Faces, movements, presence. So when they hear a name, they don't just register the sound. They anticipate a specific individual. And when that expectation isn't met, they notice. That moment of confusion, that longer stare, is your cat realizing something doesn't match their internal model of the world. Which means your cat has been quietly observing everything, tracking relationships, understanding patterns, building a mental map of their environment, without you ever teaching them to do so. Now we come to something that feels simple on the surface, but carries much deeper meaning. Come here. Sometimes when you say it, your cat actually walks toward you. And when that happens, it feels special, almost surprising, like you got lucky. But it's not luck. It's history. Your cat wasn't born understanding those words. They learned them through repetition, through experience, through emotional memory. Every time you said, "Come here," and followed it with something positive, you strengthened a connection. Warmth, safety, affection, comfort. Over time, those words stop being just sounds. They become an invitation. And when your cat responds, they are not obeying you. They are trusting you. They are choosing to move towards something that has consistently felt good. And that choice is what makes it meaningful, because it's voluntary. And now we reach the most important part of all, because everything we've talked about so far is only part of the story. The truth is, the most powerful word your cat understands isn't a word at all. It's you, your tone, your energy, your emotional state. Cats are incredibly sensitive to subtle changes in human behavior. They notice how you move, how you sound, how you feel. You can say the exact same word in two different emotional states, and your cat will interpret them as completely different meanings. You can say nothing at all, and your cat can still understand you. Because for them, communication isn't just verbal. It's emotional. It's behavioral. It's experiential. To your cat, you are not just speaking a language. You are the language. So the next time you talk to your cat, pause for a second. Realize that they are listening more closely than you think. They are not ignoring you. They are interpreting you. And every word you say, every tone you use, every interaction you create, is shaping something invisible, but incredibly important. Their understanding of you, their trust in you, and ultimately, their decision to come closer or walk away.